Susan Bradley for CSO Online. Today I'm going to talk about some information and ways that you can understand how attackers come after you. And first I'm going to tell you about Open Source Intelligence Framework. This is a website that kind of gathers all sorts of information and ways that you can understand how people get information. And especially I'm going to focus today on how they get information about email addresses and usernames. And of course, one of the key ways that they do it is go through social media. I'm sure everyone listening has an account on LinkedIn. And think about all of the information that you see up there that might be used and might be harvested, and then therefore gives information on how to get information about users and possibly even email addresses in an organization. And keep in mind these days with Office 365, email addresses are often the username into that organization. So there's tools such as LinkedIn, which is a tool that scrapes the information out of LinkedIn. There's also ScrapedIn, obviously that scrapes the information out of the LinkedIn using their API. And there's also InSpy. Now all three of these obviously go against the terms of service of LinkedIn, but when do attackers read end-of-user license agreements and abide by such things? So think of how an attacker can use this information to go after you. First off, they can figure out who's in a high position and possibly target that person. Or they can find out who's in an underlying position. Let's go after the secretary of the key muckety-muck person. They can also harvest email addresses, and as I said, oftentimes email addresses are the username for an organization. So now that they have names and usernames, what else do they have? Well, we can use a tool called Office 365 User Enumeration. It scrapes out and validates usernames from Office 365 using ActiveSync. The ability to get this information from ActiveSync is not new. It's been around for quite a while and was quite often used in Exchange Server. Now they can use it online with Outlook Web Application, Exchange Web Services, or Lync servers. Microsoft does not consider this to be a vulnerability. Obviously, we need ActiveSync, and the system, how it responds back and says whether or not an account does exist or does not exist, they do not consider to be a vulnerability. This attack also allows the attacker to understand or to know which users are using multi-factor and which ones are not. So therefore, they can target their phishing attacks against those accounts that do not have multi-factor. So they'll know which ones are the weak links in your organization. You may want to consider evaluating your alerting to see if you can set up alerts such that if a user has failed logins in a short time frame, that you're alerted of that situation. Also be aware if you have a consultant that helps you in your Office 365 implementation, ensure that they are aware of the mandate that starting August 1st that they have to have multi-factor authentication set up. Needless to say, Office 365 attacks are in the news. In fact, there's even a presentation coming up at Black Hat talking about attacks in the cloud, account compromise, password spraying techniques, and other topics. We'll have to keep an eye out for that one. Password spraying techniques are so often used that even the US CERT organization put out a recommendation about how you can take actions against that. You want to make sure that you set up your password policies so that it's a much stronger password. Review and make sure that you're not allowing people to use easy-to-guess passwords, that you're doing longer than 8 characters, that you're ensuring that they're passphrases rather than passwords. And just review the CERT settings and make sure that you are following as best as you can their recommendations. As the CERT white paper points out, multi-factor goes a long way to helping you out to keep you safe. Microsoft has a full page talking about ways to defend from password spray attacks. Bottom line, take the time to review your organization and make sure you're not a weak link and that your users aren't weak links as well. And then take time out to check out the IDG Tech Talk over on YouTube, and I hope to see you there.